I don't know if you guys know, but I love anime. I'm a big fucking weeb. I love Jujutsu Kaisen. I love Chainsaw Man. I partially like Attack on Titan. I hate Demon Slayer. I hate My Hero Academia. And now that I started a war in the comment section, we can move on to the primary subject of this video. Does anime belong in Dead by Daylight? Now, I'm aware that behavior has dipped its toes into the anime market. We've gotten skin collections from Attack on Titan and a mangaka collab with Junji Ito. I probably butchered that pronunciation, but walk with me here. And of course, we got Tokyo Ghoul as a chapter with Ken Kaneki as a killer, with him being a wildly popular killer to an extent that survivors to this day refuse to play against him.
Even though he's not even that good anymore, you just suck if you DC against Kaneki, I'm sorry.
Dead by Daylight and anime is surprisingly a heated topic among the community, because if you look at somewhere like the Axe the Everything app, you see that people will mold over the slightest suggestion that anime would be implemented into Dead by Daylight in some form. But why do people dislike the implementation of anime to Dead by Daylight so much? The popular buzzwords that people throw around when disagreeing with the idea of anime in Dead by Daylight are usually just it's bad, it's cringe, or it wouldn't fit Dead by Daylight's tone, which only one of those is correct. The idea of anime not fitting Dead by Daylight is a stupid argument, to say the least, because behavior has stated that if a IP has horror-adjacent ideas or material that could be turned into a horror story, it will be implemented in Dead by Daylight. And many animes have horror-adjacent ideas without strictly being horror. People who think this way are probably the same people who say that animation is just for kids. Which, I'm sorry if I sound like a fucking edgelord for saying this, but that is just factually incorrect. But back to the topic at hand. I understand that some people are opposed to licenses in general. They want Dead by Daylight to be its own thing, to make original characters, to expand on their own universe. I get that wholeheartedly. I totally understand the want to have be a original game instead of a Fortnite style crossover slop. However, we have seen the surge in popularity that chapters like Tokyo Ghoul and FNAF have brought to Dead by Daylight. It is obvious that behavior wants to keep chasing that high, to get more players, to get more money out of them. And with us growing ever so close to running out of classic horror villains, we might need to start looking elsewhere if behavior wants to keep pumping out licenses. And I think that's where anime should come in. I don't think that Daylight should become like Jump Force or anything with buckload of anime characters. Just spread them out every now and then, because clearly there's a market for it. Behavior has clearly implied that Tokyo Ghoul was a big success, and it shows in numbers. Like half the killer players only play Kaneki, me included. And now that we've gone over why anime should be in Dead by Daylight, let's go over a few characters that I would like to see in Dead by Daylight. Consider this like a part 2 to my chapter wishlist video that I did previously. There is a reason why I mentioned Jujutsu Kaisen at first. That is because I would love to see Ryomen Sukuna in Dead by Daylight. I know that JJK isn't horror. It's nowhere near horror. But I would still think that Sukuna could fit in Dead by Daylight. Especially since in Jujutsu Kaisen, curses are born from negative emotions, especially fear. For example, Jogo is creation of people's fear of fire. And Hanami, for example, is people's fear of nature, etc. It is fascinating as a concept, and I think purely of that, Sukuna could very well be a good candidate for a killer if Jujutsu Kaisen were to ever become Dead by Daylight. I mean, Sukuna is the strongest in the Jujutsu Kaisen universe. He is the king of curses, and how popular Jujutsu Kaisen is now, with it getting its 3rd season next year, I don't see the issue in adding JJK to Dead by Daylight. It is popular. It could very well be fitted into Dead by Daylight if someone like JK would give Behavior the liberty to make a actual story for Sukuna to make him fit better in Dead by Daylight. And right now I think you guys are probably sick to death of hearing me yap about JJK, so let's talk about something else. Whenever anime and DVD is brought up, there is always few characters that get brought up, but one I see much more than the others is Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Now, I'm not a big JoJo's guy, but even I can say that Dio is cool. Dio is probably one of the best anime villains ever, honestly. The amount of charisma that this fucking bastard has is insane. And I totally get the want to have Dio in Dead by Daylight. I mean, the guy's a vampire. That's already a horror thing that you can draw from. But I think people would mainly prefer him to be his Part 3 incarnation with Zawardo as the power. And I think that could also be a great idea for a power to draw from when it comes to Dio, because how many of you have seen the original JoJo anime? Because in that version, Dio is fundamentally the same character, yes, but his stand works differently. Zawardo has no sound when time stopped. There is no grand visuals, no shouting, not anything like that. It's just pure silence. It is eerie as hell, and they made Dio feel threatening, made him feel scary. And I think that could be a great place to draw inspiration for a Dio power. I wanted to point out Dio and Sukuna because, well, those are big characters that people know. They are anime giants, Sukuna being a modern hit, and well, Dio is a all-time classic at this point. So yeah, I think having such a big anime IP as JoJo's or Jujutsu Kaisen being that by that would be a great landmark. I know we got Tokyo Ghoul, which is iconic, don't get me wrong, but having a giant like JoJo's would be incredible. Think of the amount of new players that would flock to that by daylight purely to play Dio. Same with Jujutsu Kaisen. Think of the people who'd wanna play as fucking Sukuna. You could throw in JoJo as a legendary skin for a survivor, and hell, drop Yuji as a survivor, for example. But in general, this video has just been me finding a way to express love towards a form of media that I like, and to think how that media could cross over into a game that I love. It's nothing serious, it's just fun talking about these things. So please tell me in the comments what characters you would like to see in Dead by Daylight, anime or not. Tell me if me wanting Sukuna to be in Dead by Daylight would be a ass choice, or would you prefer someone else? Tell me, please. I would love to hear you guys tell your ideas for a future anime chapter, whatever that may be. But hey, until next time, I've been Jinxes. Like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.